Hi everyone, so it's who would win. I've got some time at the moment to do this, and finally closing out that trilogy of them I'm doing. I did Superman versus Thanos, did Sentry versus Darkseid. Let's culminate with Thanos versus Darkseid. So, I've already gone over both of them, but just to recap real quick. Thanos was, because there's going to be a few X factors in this fight. Thanos was more or less a Marvel equivalent of Darkseid, came after Darkseid. Did Marvel, I don't know the full backstory behind his creation, but Marvel wanted to more or less give their universe their equivalent of Darkseid, so he was created in response to Darkseid. I don't know what the time frame was when he was created, but he was created basically as an equivalent of Darkseid. Both of these guys are very similar in they're a little similar in their appearance. Obviously, Thanos is purple, Darkseid's gray, stone looking, but they have a similar body structure. They're Titan-esque forms. Both have high levels of super strength, endurance, stamina, that kind of debacle, energy production. They do have a few differences though in their abilities. Darkseid has the Omega beams, the Omega effect, and the Omega sanction. We're not going to be including the anti-life equation or the Infinity Gauntlet or Heart of the Universe things in this fight, though I'll briefly say, as soon as I get to the fight, I'll briefly say who I think would win if they had access to either of their full repertoire of things they've had over the years. Mega beams, concussive blasts, erase you from existence. The only individuals, excuse me, who have actually survived Darkseid's Omega beams are Superman and Doomsday. Hi, Pop Pop. Domino, you always need my attention when you hear me talking, don't you? So more or less, it has to probably be on a being of equivalent strength to be able to survive the Omega beams. Which I'm going to say right now, I think Thanos can qualify as one of those equivalent beings who could survive. That doesn't mean he won't get hurt by it, by the way. I'm not saying that. But someone who can survive the Omega beams. Darkseid also has some matter manipulation abilities. He does kind of have some space-time manipulation, but he rarely ever uses that. Despite not really getting into hand-to-hand combat much, he is an expert combatant, physically speaking. He is an expert hand-to-hand tactician. He's got immense he's got telepathic abilities like mind manipulation, things along those lines, but it's not like he's not like Xavier where he can like do his like whoo. No, there's some step-by-step procedure to that. Well, you know what? Why don't I just go quickly to the page right here so I can reference stuff. Nope. I had the page earlier. Where are you? There we go. Darkseid, genius level intellect, and dominant will, meaning he can't really be controlled at all. This little thing right here that we need to address right now. The source where the Omega effect comes from, which is kind of like the Marvel's, DC's equivalent of God in some ways, keeps Darkseid alive. Because Darkseid is a new god from New Genesis. Well, from Apocalypse, but from New Genesis technically. He's a new god. He is a deity in several ways. He's kept alive by the source because he serves a purpose as a necessary evil in the universe, unless something else could fill in his role as the necessary evil. So even if he's actually legitimately killed, he will come back in some form later on because he is a necessary evil. But, you know what, Domino's here with her toy because she just wants to be near me. Oh, you're so sweet. You're so cute. So yes, unless something can fill in his role as a necessary evil, the source will eventually bring him back in some way. But I'm going to say that doesn't fall into this category because Thanos, I'm pretty certain, can qualify as that necessary evil. This is a guy who literally killed half a universe just to have Death say, "I love you too." But in terms of Darkseid, any other abilities Darkseid has, it's more or less, of course, the Omega Sanction, which can transport a being into an alternate timeline and reality over and over again, each worse than the last. Like I said, some telepathy, some teleportation, but that's usually with the Omega effect, and strength's on par with Superman. Whatnot. It does have an actual specific weakness to a certain metal called radium, but yeah. Darkseid, we gotta go into her personality a little bit. Darkseid prefers to be the schemer, the mastermind. He doesn't prefer to be on the front lines if he doesn't have to, but he doesn't like to dirty his hands if he can avoid it. He likes to just not that he can't handle himself by any stretch. I mean, he is one of the strongest individuals in the DC universe, bar none. Like, he's easily in the top 10. But he still is just like, I don't want to do it. You do it. Manipulate, do it. But you go, all right, fine. Boom, let's do this. That's what Darkseid is. Thanos is definitely a bit more hands-on. Thanos, Thanos again would prefer to plot and scheme and invent, technology. He's very technologically minded. He's a technological genius inventor. But he's definitely one to get into physical altercations a lot more than Darkseid is. Thanos, again, high durability, high speed for someone his stature. Enhanced stamina, strength is, again, here's the thing. When it comes to the strength, I'm not really going to go into who's stronger physically. They're both basically on par with each other. One thing, though, I need to make clear is that while I'm certain Darkseid heals at a faster rate than a normal individual, like a normal person, I'm certain, if he got in the animated series where Superman actually beat the snot out of him, and that first time they really met and all that, or after the whole manipulation of Superman thing, Darkseid got the snot kicked out of him pretty hard. But I'm certain, after a day or two of recovery, he was relatively okay. Thanos, however, actually does have a healing factor, because Thanos isn't just I don't know exactly, he's the Mad Titan, he's from the moon of Titan, but he's a mutant among his people as well. He actually is a mutant. He has a healing factor as well, which is immensely powerful. He actually, I think, survived incineration in the sun for a while, because his skin was regrowing I think he was eventually killed in that way, but still. Genius level, intellect, technological, science genius, obsessed with love and death. The difference between Thanos and Darkseid is, Darkseid is okay with death. He has no issue with death. He's not gaining for death all the time. He's going for his own personal goals. Thanos' personal goal is death. So if he can prove himself to death, maybe death will love him. That's why he tried to wipe out half the life in the universe. If he could take maybe the life of someone who can regenerate. Regenerators, apparently, they say in Thanos the End, are kind of like a cancer in the universe. People coming back from the dead should not be doing that. They should stay dead. Thanos is also a very capable hand-to-hand fighter himself. He can fire heat beams from his eyes. He has concussive and energy blast, cosmic energy, telepathy, and highly mentally resistant. Minor magical skills. He put a curse on Deadpool at one point. Very skilled in armed combat. He can adapt to new battle strategies very quickly. Basically, he's definitely a dirtier fighter than Darkseid, I'd say. I mean, Darkseid's underhanded, but Thanos is trying to actually complete his goal for, loving death and all that stuff, as well as whatever other means he might have. So, Thanos definitely has more of an X factor in terms of his actual motivation and strategy, whereas Darkseid, he's pretty straightforward with manipulation and conquering and all that. Now, when we get into the actual fight, we got to address quickly the elephants in the room. If these guys had their full capabilities, Thanos had his Infinity Gauntlet or the Heart of the Universe, and Darkseid had the anti-life equation, who comes out on top? And in both cases, I'm going to say it's going to be Thanos. Because I say that because I looked up the anti-life equation too. It's about control and dominance over the will of others, complete and utter dominance, which basically says if you don't have free will, you're technically not really living, which is why it's called the anti-life equation. However, there are individuals who are resistant / immune to the anti-life equation, and they pass these things on to help others fight Thanos with the anti-life equation. Even without them, I'd say Thanos might be one of those individuals who could at least resist the anti-life equation, given his high mental resilience. Like telepaths, like Xavier and stuff, they don't want to mess with Thanos' mental health. Sentry's got even higher mental resistance, I think, than Thanos. For God's sake, Xavier and Doctor Strange couldn't get into that guy's mind. So yeah, I think Thanos could resist that, just even without the gauntlet. But then you take into the gauntlet. Let's just go ahead and Infinity Gauntlet real quick. That pretty much makes you nigh God. Now, let's see. You got the Space Stone, which creates all space, teleportation energy, all that. Power Stone, all energy that has ever been, is, or will be. Time Stone, to manipulate all facets of time. Mind Stone, manipulate all facets of mental capabilities, telepathy, mental resistance. So right there, he's got a built-in immunity to that. Reality Stone, which completely warps reality, and Soul Stone, which can control the souls of individuals. And it's a sentient being and can control, it has a soul of individuals in it. So, with the Gauntlet, and by that admission, the Heart, which is even a universe, which is pretty much the Gauntlet fully realized, the Gauntlet had its limitations. and could be destroyed. And so could the gems. The Heart of the Universe, not so much. So, sorry. So yeah, both of those, the anti-life equation is powerful. Don't diss the anti-life equation, but Thanos wins in that kind of scenario. But let's get to the fight. Now, this fight is not written very long, but I'll try to be expressive and animated. So, Darkseid and Thanos, how it goes down? Well, I think Thanos would show up probably to Apocalypse trying to complete some goals. Apocalypse, Galactus and one crossover came to Apocalypse, and Darkseid actually couldn't beat him. But he basically says there is no life on Apocalypse, there's only death. And maybe, that draws Thanos there. Darkseid confronts him, and they talk for a little bit. Thanos is a bit more malicious in terms of his speech and goals than Darkseid is. So, after that, Darkseid is probably just going to, say, yes, doing that whole, it's a talk. Again, I'm not going to write scripts for this. And then it's like, yeah, you would become an unwelcome guest on Apocalypse. Leave. And I was like, make me. And then that's when the Omega beams start, and it's just blast. But Thanos would probably counter with blocks with some cosmic energy, and they're probably going to go back and forth for a little bit. Maybe Thanos could try some matter manipulation, but I'm pretty sure Thanos could use some cosmic energy to just counteract that effect, and then they go into hand-to-hand combat. And in hand-to-hand combat, I think actually Thanos is. They're all both extremely competent. But I think Darkseid, both are trained warriors too. But I think Darkseid technically has a bit more of an edge in hand-to-hand combat in terms of his overall skill. Thanos has a bigger edge though in two other ways, and that he gets into physical altercations far more often than Darkseid does, so he's going to have just more on the battlefield experience throughout his entire life, mind you, just like Darkseid. Don't get me wrong, Darkseid's been in a lot of fights too physically, but I think that Thanos has just been in a few more and has had a more variety of opponents to go up against. And two is that Thanos, I honestly feel, is just going to be a dirtier fighter, more dirtier tactics, because his goal is death. His goal is to appease. Among his many other smaller goals, his main goal is death. He loves death. He wants death personified. He loves her. He wants to please her. And what better way than to kill a god? So it's like, prove I killed a god. You love that, babe? Yeah, you do. So yeah. So in terms of the overall skill, Thanos is definitely going to take some hits, boom, boom, boom. But after a while, it's going to be boom, maybe try to break his arm, or like lock that, just boom, under him, maybe even go for the boom. Eventually, it's going to play out where I think they're both going to strike each other with an energy blast, cosmic energy, like a fist blast, nails Darkseid's eyes go and just hit Thanos. They both go flying, just boom, boom, boom. So now, I don't know, Darkseid's throne room's completely thrashed. They're both smoking, both are getting up. Thanos, though, is getting up a bit easier because, as far as I can tell, again, Darkseid, I'm sure he heals quicker than a normal person, but he doesn't have a defined healing factor, whereas Thanos actually does have a defined healing factor. This is a guy who just took on 3 point-blank, full-powered blasts from Black Bolt, whose voice can destroy a planet, and only had a nosebleed. So, yeah, Thanos, I think, has got the better recovery time between the two of them. Anyway, he gains the edge through that. Wow, I didn't actually finish the fight on here. Oh well, I pretty much have an idea who's winning this fight anyway. So they get thrown up, they both get up, and the fight continues. The Darkseid's going to try manners in which the matter manipulation might do something, and I'm not getting that phone, by the way. The matter manipulation might catch Thanos off guard, but Thanos is a very adaptive individual that if he starts to feel things like his molecular structure, which it's matter, that's kind of the same thing. A little different, but kind of the same thing. Okay, I just wanted to check who that was. So anyway, he'll back off, maybe use some cosmic energy to kind of reset himself and then assess the situation. So, then the only way, I'm going to be honest, the only true way is I see Darkseid really winning this fight is if he gets a full power Omega Blast on him that's going to erase him. And even then, Thanos can easily counter with like an energy blast of his own, and then get in and just keep smashing him in the face, just boom, boom, boom. Or if the Omega Sanction takes effect. But I feel like, and I can't remember how the Omega Sanction actually worked. I think that also worked with the Omega Beams is the thing. What you doing? Hold on 1 second. Domino, deep. Domino. Open. Domino. Bad, no. She was chewing on a puzzle piece. Sorry about that, folks. I'm going to have to check the floor in just a second to make sure there's no other puzzle pieces. Why do we get the feeling you ate some? But we have a puzzle we got for Christmas on the table, but we can tell there might be a few pieces missing. Given that, I think she might have eaten a couple pieces. Why, Domino? They're not tasty. They're just cardboard with pictures on it. Anyway, yeah, with the Omega Sanction, I could definitely say would do it, because unless Thanos has the Gauntlet or the Heart of the Universe, the Sanction would work on him. The question is that I'm pretty certain the Sanction has to work with the Omega Beams hitting him. And at that point, I mean, very few individuals are fast enough or have the skill to dodge the Omega Beams because they're omnidirectional. They'll follow whatever target they want, wherever target Darkseid chooses. But I think Thanos, after experiencing the effect, the blast of the Omega Beams after a while, he would eventually be able to either just counter them or dodge them in some capacity. So I do think that the Omega Beams eventually would just not work on Thanos. It's not the same as in with Sentry, where Sentry definitely had the capability of avoiding the Omega Beams, and I think I even had him doing it once or twice in the fight. But I don't think he has the intellect to actually understand what's going to happen if he can avoid them. If you can't avoid them or all the time. And I don't see that happen. Whereas Thanos, being a genius, could understand, based on what's happening when these things hit him, could identify something about the Omega Beams to use that to his advantage and avoid hitting, or use them, or kind of how Supergirl did in Superman Batman Apocalypse. Had Thanos get hit with his own blast. Or Thanos, Darkseid get hit with his own blast. So, but that said, long term in the fight, the long haul of the fight, I give it to Thanos, but I don't give it to him a lot, because they're so basically the same character that the subtle differences make it very hard. But I give him the edge, and it's probably going to end with him, just killing him, breaking his neck or something. I don't know. But the reason I give this win to Thanos is, one, he's got again, unlike Darkseid, he actually has a defined healing factor, which gives him ample more recovery and ability to last longer in the fight than Darkseid. Two, he just has more on-the-battlefield experience overall. I mean, we don't know their actual ages, I don't think. Even if we were to place them in their comic history with their history in the past to now, the same age, I think Thanos just oftentimes goes out into the field more than Darkseid does, and therefore has far more combat experience. And Domino, what you doing? Hey, what you doing? He has far more battle experience in dealing with just individual, because he's dealt with the Avengers several times, dealt with Guardians of the Galaxy. He's just fought more people, had a bigger variety of opponents to go up against, and actually done it himself. And three, his motivation and tactics, I think, are just more underhanded and dirty than Darkseid. Darkseid is a conqueror. He's a ruler. That's all he is. Yeah, he's in the anti-life equation and all that. But he wants subjugation. He's not looking necessarily for death or destruction. He's a ruler. He's a conqueror. He's a tyrant. Whereas with Thanos, he's kind of that too, but he's also just looking to kill bitches so he can get to his girlfriend and have his girlfriend love him. Or not his girlfriend, but his possible girlfriend, be like, I love you, thank you for all this. He wants to appease death. Death is his thing. He takes great joy in it, and he's far more ruthless in terms of his, well, not ruthless. No, I say Darkseid is more ruthless. He's more underhanded with his tactics, I'd say. But I'm only going to give this about 65% to Thanos, because there's a very real scenario where Darkseid wins as well. So about 65% of the time, Thanos wins this fight. So I finally got through all these. January ends... Well, actually, wait. Let me just check the calendar real quick if I have time for Bleach one this month. Next one, no. Only next Wednesday. Well, I mean, I have time. I'm gonna get to a fan one, a requested one this month, just to end off, and I'll just restart the Bleach ones next week, or the following week, which is the following Wednesday is February. So to start of February, I'll get back to the Bleach ones. But other than that, though, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, and subscribe as always if you want us to review something. Put in the comments below. Let us know whether we'll do a review of it at some point. Ideas for who wins, what if, magic videos. Basically, the whole echelon of stuff I do on the channel. By all means, check out the playlist and see what we do, what I do. Yeah, put those in the comments below. I'll get to them. Like I said, just because of what happened with my mother's passing on Christmas and taking a few weeks off, taking a week or two off. I'm still doing stuff for the channel throughout the month, but it's going to be easy month, just basics, the who wins. I already did Death Battle, reviews, box office reports, and whatever I feel like doing. Like tomorrow, I will be doing a reaction to the Logan #2 trailer, which Jackman announced will be popping up. In fact, if it pops up like after midnight, or 1 o'clock, and I'm still up, I might just do a reaction to that. So, and I'll give my disclaimer how I do reactions, just so nobody gets pissed off, hopefully. Anyway. Yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.